I look a little different. Let's talk about it. Guys, it's Miki. I have not filmed a sit-down video for you guys in a while, but if you have been following me anywhere, you have probably seen that I look a little bit different. I got veneers, and I'm gonna be spilling the tea on the entire experience, how much it cost, where I went, was there any pain, and was it all worth it? So I got my top 8 teeth done in the color BL3 at Vinci Dentist in Bellevue, Washington. The entire process took roughly about a month or so, and I know everyone's gonna ask, how much did it cost? Now, this is obviously going to vary depending on the dentist that you go to. Where I went, it was $1,850 per tooth, for a total of $14,800 for the 8 teeth that I did. The porcelain veneers that I got typically last between 25 to 30 years, so if you do the math, I wanted to know how much these would cost me per year, and for 30 years, it'd be less than $500 a year, which is less than we spend on clothes, on food. The $1,000,000 question, why did I get veneers? If you asked me to point at my biggest insecurity, I would have told you my teeth. I got braces in 7th grade for a couple years, and then as an adult, I also got Invisalign, which took another 3 years. Ultimately, no matter what I did, my teeth were just not the right shape to give me the aesthetic look that I was looking for. I really didn't like that they were super rounded at the edges. I also had a ton of gums showing. Overall, the entire situation just made me feel really insecure, and as somebody who is on camera all the time, it made it really difficult for me to smile in photos. I hated watching myself in videos, so it was the one thing that I really wanted to change. And it's really easy for somebody else to say, you look fine, they looked great, like why were you so insecure about them? But I'm the one who has to live with them 24/7, and when I'm telling you that I did not feel confident about them, I am making this change for me and not for anybody else. A couple of my friends actually went to Vinci Dentist in Bellevue, so I decided to DM them and just see what it was all about. They actually DM'd me back right away and said that they could do a smile simulation for me, and this is the picture that they sent me back. And I was like, wow, okay, I am kind of considering this. Let me go in and learn a bit more. So I got a formal consultation. So during the initial consultation, I explained everything that I didn't like about my original teeth. I didn't like that the edges of my teeth were too round and chunky. I had way too much gums, especially above my 2 front teeth. My teeth were very uneven, and Dr. Bo Keller was so kind and patient in listening to every single thing that I had to say. He then subsequently explained how the veneer process would go. He also took extensive notes during this entire process to make sure that he could craft me my perfect smile. My biggest fear in doing all of this was that I did not want to end up with shark teeth. Many dentists who do veneers actually don't do them correctly, and they don't know how to properly preserve the enamel. I was specifically looking for drill-free veneers or minimal prep veneers, and I was very relieved to hear that that's actually all that Vinci Dental offers. They're focused on making sure that your teeth remain as healthy as possible, even with veneers. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I am not the biggest fan of the dentist. I'm usually a little terrified of them, but I have to say Dr. Keller has such good bedside manner. It almost feels like I was talking to a friend, but just a friend with really great dental expertise. At this initial appointment, I told him that I didn't care if my teeth didn't look the same at all. I wanted a Hollywood smile. So once I made the decision to get veneers, everything happened pretty quickly. I came in for the first appointment the following week, and this is where the majority of the action happens. The appointment took roughly around 2 hours, with the majority of it us just kind of chatting about expectations and what was going to happen later on. As I promised, they did very minimal drilling. Dr. Keller also did a gum lift for me in the areas that needed it. Vinci Dental actually does this at no extra cost to patients because they want you to have the best outcome possible. Normally when you do a gum lift, the gums will actually just grow right back, but because of the veneers, they will actually hold the gums in place. Once they finish preparing your gums and your teeth, they will actually take a mold of your teeth, and this will get sent to the lab so that they can make you your porcelain veneers. This process usually takes a couple weeks, maybe a month. So in the interim, they put on temporary veneers for you. The temporaries are all connected to each other, and they kind of just pop into your teeth. They look similar to the final product, so they do give you a test drive of what your teeth are going to look like, and also the opportunity to make some small changes if you need to. What I must tell you is that when you get your temporaries on, you are swollen, you are puffy from the numbing medication, and your face will not look how it normally looks. Objectively speaking, the teeth will look great, but you will not immediately think, wow, this looks amazing on me. You need to let the numbing, the swelling wear wear down, and also give it a day or two to kind of just sink into your brain. Initially, it was a very big shock to me because for 25, 26 years, I had these teeth. Obviously, it's a good change, but regardless, it can still feel really scary. As I was adjusting, I definitely felt a wave of emotions. It was very normal. Now, let's talk about the pain because this is something that I was terrified of. I would say in general, I have pretty high pain tolerance, but I would not sign up for anything to voluntarily put myself in pain. Before they do any of the numbing injections, Dr. Keller actually used what's called Orgel, and they put it on this little roller gauze and put it in your gums and let that sit for about 15-20 minutes or so. And I am not joking when I say that I could not feel a single poke from Dr. Keller. You're obviously awake and you know what's going on, but I just couldn't feel a thing. They also offer noise-canceling headphones, a TV, so really whatever you need to relax. If you have pain afterwards, it's typically the worst during the first 24 to 48 hours. I did not have any sort of sharp shooting pain. I had a tiny bit of this like dull, achy sensitivity, but that was immediately relieved by the Tylenol that I took. Based on the temporary veneers that I had, I actually did make a couple of changes. Number one, I actually initially chose the color BL2, and when you see them alongside the other colors, it looks so beautiful. It is the most popular option, but when I saw it in my mouth, it was just a little bit too white for my preference. My skin has a lot of yellow undertones, and I feel like it just made my teeth a bit too flashy for what I liked. There's also a sharp contrast to my bottom teeth, which I wasn't getting touched at all. I ended up deciding to go one shade darker, which is BL3. BL1, 2, 3, 4 are all actually whiter than natural teeth. So it was a very minor step I took for a more natural outcome. Number two, remember I originally asked for a picture perfect Hollywood smile? Well, that's exactly what they gave me with the temporary veneers. But once I saw it in my mouth, again, it felt a little bit unnatural. We actually decided to bring back some of the elements that made my teeth look a bit more real and like me. This included adjusting some of the embrasures, which is the space between your teeth, lengthening the canines, etc. Again, they are so subtle and probably very unnoticeable to other people, but it made all the difference for me. Now let's talk a little bit about your temporaries. As the name implies, they are temporary. They're obviously much more delicate than your real veneers are going to be. They also stain very easily, so I avoided drinking any sort of coffee, tea, cup noodles. I also didn't really chomp down on anything with them. I still ate all the things I normally ate, but I just ate them with my back teeth. Dr. Keller did a good job warning me that some people have sensitivity along their gums, especially when they have their temporaries on, but this is a sensitivity that will go away once you get your final veneers. And I certainly felt some sensitivity here and there, mostly with super hot or super cold fluids. But again, it was nothing that wasn't relieved by Tylenol. The second appointment, about a month later, I went in to get my final veneers. For me personally, this appointment was easy breezy compared to the first one. They basically popped off the temporary veneers, did a very thorough and deep cleaning, and then they individually placed on the porcelain veneers with a very strong bonding material. My initial reaction was, wow, the teeth look amazing, but my gums look so angry. Because the entire time that you have your temporary veneers on, your gums aren't really able to heal. They can actually turn black, turn white, and slough off before kind of returning back to baseline. And again, that's completely normal, and Dr. Keller had warned me of that. But even with how scary my gums looked, I could definitely tell how amazing the veneers looked, and it was a serious upgrade from my previous teeth. The numbing medicine took about 6 hours to fully wear off, but about an hour after, I started feeling some heightened sensitivity. It was kind of like an achy feeling. I would say this is probably the most achy or pain that I felt in the entire process. But again, I took some Tylenol, and within 30 minutes, I was back to normal. Throughout the first week that I had the final veneers, I did have sensitivity here and there while my gums were still healing and trying to grow back, and occasionally popped a Tylenol. But after that, I didn't have any other issues. I was so relieved that the final veneers looked like real teeth, they felt like real teeth, and it was amazing being able to eat everything regularly again. That same day, I was eating regular foods and went back to my normal routine. Here's a comparison of what my teeth look like with the temporaries versus with the final veneers. In comparison, you can see that the temporaries look a bit more fake. They also seem to be a bit bulkier because of the way that they sat on the gum line. And I want to reiterate how happy I was that I ended up choosing BL3. The choice of color was far more natural for my skin tone. Overall, I feel so much more confident. If I go through my camera roll, you can see that now I smile with my teeth so much more often. I feel more comfortable being on camera. And because of the way that my teeth were shaped previously, I also used to get a bunch of food stuck in them, and that happens less often, which is a big win for me. I am very, very happy with how they turned out, and ultimately I did this for me and I'm happy with it. And I want to give you some summarizing thoughts if you are considering veneers. Number 1, find a dentist that you can trust. I know this goes without saying, but you really need to find someone that you can trust and cares about your dental health. Find somebody who's actually trained to do veneers and to preserve your enamel while also giving you the cosmetic outcome that you're looking for. I truly cannot recommend Dr. Bo and Andrew Keller at Vinci Dental enough. They are clearly so good at what they do, have incredible bedside manner, and they made the entire process just so seamless. I wish I had done it sooner. Number 2, know exactly what you want. Before you go into your appointment, write down on your notes app or write down on a piece of paper all of the things that you don't currently like about your teeth. Your dentist cannot help you achieve the outcome that you want if you don't even know what it is that you want. Number 3, the process is exciting, but you are going through some big changes. It's normal to feel scared or even not like the changes at first. Give your brain some time to process before you jump to any conclusions. And number 4, do what's best for you. It's really easy for other people to say, oh, you don't need this, or you should get this. But at the end of the day, you are living for you, and if you feel like you want to get something done, then you should. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you permission. I hope that this video was helpful and that it answers some of the questions that you had before you decide to get veneers. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!